addition to your role at Polygon Labs, you're also the strategic advisor to Variant Fund, right?
Yep.
Can you double click on that role? What is that like? How did that come about? And
yeah. So when I was in private practice, I was representing a ton of the DeFi companies, and then slowly they started seeing me on other sides of deals in the VC funds did. And so I started representing like a few of them, and one of them was Variant. I get along very well with Jesse. And so when I ended up going to DYDX, he reached out and asked if I wanted to become an advisor. I think Variant back then was like probably the best up and coming fund that there was.
Which year was this?
That would have been in 2021, I think.
Okay.
And I think now it's like established itself as like one of the leading funds in the space.
Right.
And so most of that just came from them looking for somebody who could like give a perspective from like on like the legal side of things. So it wasn't like giving, because of the whole legal thing, like I don't give like legal advice to portfolio companies,
Right.
but it's helping them direct and like consider like legal issues, right? So it's like, go talk to counsel about this, or, you know, here's different ways that you can look at this. Go, you know, ask your counsel whether, you know, they agree with that, how to approach it. It's, hey, your counsel gave you this advice, and you're trying to like weigh that decision. Let me help you kind of like weigh that decision as to what you want to do based off of that advice. So it's really like, there's like a legal kind of like piece of it,
Right.
but a lot of it is really weighing in on like helping them like execute based off of that legal advice, and weighing kind of like the risks and rewards of doing that.
Last month, I think there was Variant LP Day, and you had a fire chat with Legion as well, which was quite insightful,
Yes.
right? So funds like Variant, right, when they do legal due diligence before investing, what are some things that they look at that founders should think about?
Yeah. So there's the basic things. Like they want to know the entity's properly structured. They want to know there's all like the right agreements in place, that like the IP is owned properly. They want to like make sure there's no like other rights to tokens and equity and things like that.
Right.
Once they get past like those basics, like one of the things that they all want to understand is like how much regulatory risk is actually involved with this. And this is something I talked to Variant about, like when they're looking to invest is, hey, like if we make this investment, what's the likelihood that something actually happens? Like, and what they want to know from the portfolio companies is that they have responsible founders, right? Like you ultimately want a founder who's like, I take legal issues seriously and I want to actually deal with them in like a proper way, right? And so it's like making sure that like they're getting the right legal advice from like the right counsel, that when they get it, they don't just ignore it, and then they actually try to like execute in like a responsible way based off of it. And so a lot of that really ties into like how they're launching their products and what kind of advice they're receiving.